My name is Ronnie Ferreira, and I am the captain of Comment Me Bro, the first ever champions of MSS Reindeer Games. You're watching Let Freedom Ring with Dan Bollier, the #1 podcast in Southern New Hampshire. Enjoy.
And welcome to Let Freedom Ring. The snow is starting to melt. Spring is upon us. My
Thank God.
guest this week, the one and only Ryan McMahon, the Rye Guy. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Dan. Appreciate it. Nice to make my return. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and I want to hit this real quick because of your last name.
You're fired!
A lot of Vince McMahon questions that come in. I don't believe there's any relation, but Ryan, you were on the show a little over 2 years ago. Show went on a hiatus for a bit, so it's not, I've been saying that about a lot of people. I'm like, there was a year the show didn't run at all. But how you been
Yeah.
since your last appearance?
I've been good, man. Lots changed for sure since then. It's funny, like looking back, I was thinking earlier that at that point in time, I was in such a different place with a lot of things in life and softball and everything. I feel like back then it was just like, I don't know, a very cool experience when I was at like a new point coming into like the softball scene. And but yeah, things have changed a lot. I've been good overall, no complaints. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that was really early kind of in our friendship too, because I think we had just met that previous season, and now it's like, dude, you're moving up the chain, jumping from tournament team to tournament team, helping run leagues. So yeah, a lot has changed in that time. 2-time cold turkey champion.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, good. Well, I want to get into this because this was a huge announcement made by the Nashua Sunday Coed League. I'm not sure who runs that league. There's some guy, but
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
you have been named as the new vice president of Sunday Coed. How are you feeling about that? Were you excited to be asked? Where was it? Could you envision that? Just how you feeling about that?
Yeah, definitely excited to be asked. Honestly, with a lot of stuff like that, I'm usually hesitant to take on extra responsibility. I think we all have a lot going on in life, and some of that stuff takes a lot more work than people want to give credit to. But with the league president
Whoever
um,
that is, yeah.
being a great friend of mine, it definitely was like incentivizing, and any way I can help you out, make things easier for you, and keep that league like a fun place and an open place for everybody and inclusive and a good time. I'm glad to help. Honestly, it's the least I can do, and that I have a lot of fun playing there.
Yeah, we try to have a lot of fun, and Kevin had been the vice president for the last 2 years, and then he had an injury, and he definitely Kevin Lundbaum we're referring to. Hopefully he watches this. But Kevin was, a very, very big help on getting us back on track, because the league it had kind of gone steady the way it was, and they tried to do something different, and then it just really just needed like a total overhaul, reboot, kind of try to figure out what do we want this to be? You know what I mean? I think a lot of leagues sometimes need that restart.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think I know you've given Kevin a ton of credit. I think what he's done, it kind of went a little bit of under the radar because it wasn't like so much out in the open how he was helping the league. But yeah, you guys kick-started like a really good thing for a lot of people, and I just think you're seeing now like a lot of leagues all over the place are kind of seem to be struggling to get people, and Nashua, I feel like has like a really strong core, and it's only kind of gone upwards the last 2 years, where that's not the case for a lot of leagues, and I think that's for good reason. I think it's ran by good people. I think the people who play in there is all good people. It's just a good culture over there that Nashua Coed has, and that's all you and Kevin for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing too, right? With a lot of leagues that you're right, culture is huge
It's the
to,
biggest thing, honestly.
I let me know if you agree. Like at the end of the day, right? I look at softball as a recreational activity. That's what it is. I mean, when we really argue about it, what's rec, what's not. Listen, I'm 41 years old, right? Like
Yeah, it's rare.
the glory days are over. I want to play and have fun with people. Do I want to win? Everybody wants to win, but is that the most important thing? I don't think so. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
I think overall you want everybody that comes to a field to say that was fun. I had a good time, whether they won, whether they lost, and I hope that's how people feel about the Nashville Sunday Coed League because there's other leagues where people don't feel that way.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You want the focus to be like player driven and experience driven, and I think that's where a lot of leagues like kind of miss the mark with a lot of things. They're either like out of touch with what people actually want, or they'll aim for something that's just not really like realistic. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough. You did a really good job with Nashua with like getting the core in place, and like the coaches and the people who play there a lot are really good, and I feel like all that's done is kind of bring others in. But um, yeah, I think I don't know. It's tough. Nashua is kind of a different in a lot of ways, and I think it's a lot more focused towards like the opinions of the players and focusing on what the players want.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think like a big focus, and even leagues I've played in that have missed the mark, is they're not listening to, you can't listen to, you're not going to make everybody happy. But I do think you have to make the majority happy and want to come back. And if you don't do that, um, things will go off the rails. And finger pointing, we're seeing a men's league that we've really enjoyed playing, and I'm really sad if this thing doesn't get going. And what's been unfortunate about it is there's so many different things that have happened because you could just say, "Oh, it was this team," or "This team feels that way," and all I've seen is pointing the finger instead of having an actual. And maybe they've had these conversations, and I don't know. You know what I mean? But like, it
Mm.
doesn't feel like that. It's crazy to see something just take a complete nosedive when, and I'm sure people are gonna watch this and they're gonna want to blame somebody, right? Because that's what continues to happen, and I hope it works out. I mean, I would really miss that.
Yeah, I know the league you're talking about. Um, it's really difficult, to be honest. Because I look at leagues like that particular league, and I don't really even know what the set solution is. Like, I feel like I'll just come out and say it. Obviously, we're talking about Nashua men's, but
Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know what's going on Monday, Wednesday. I've only played in that once. I don't want to speak on any of them, but yes, Nashua men's. Yeah.
yeah, the industrial Nashua men's, yeah, Tuesday, Thursday. Which I had a lot of fun playing in last year, but it's just you need like incentive to come play. Like especially someone like myself, I was driving like close to 40 minutes to get out there twice a week. I'm already playing Merrimack, which is an established competitive league that's pretty well run. So it's like players like myself who play a lot and a little bit more on the competitive side, like you do eventually get to a point where it's like you gotta give me reason to like keep wanting to come back. Like, what's the direction of the league? Like, what do things look like? What's the scope of it? Like, who's running it? How well are things run? Like, a lot of that like does matter to some people, and especially if you're giving a lot of your time and driving to all these places. Um, so I don't know. It's tricky. Like I don't really know like a set solution for some of these places. I do think there should be a space in a place like Nashua to have a competitive men's league that is successful. Like maybe Nashua take a competitive men's, Merrimack do like a regular men's like team. You put your own teams in. Merrimack do a draft league. There should be space for something like that, but obviously it's not working, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know all the answers, but it's really surprising to me, and I feel like it's a lot of it is just because it's mismanaged in many ways.
I think it needs an identity. I think that league's in an identity crisis, right? You've seen really 4 coaches that have been there in and out, not in and out, consistently, probably for the last I'm going to say 8 years, right? And teams have come and go. So you have your core 4 teams, and then it's always like, can we get 2 more? Can we get 1 more? And eventually, the well is going to dry out if if you don't know what the league's going to look, what the league's supposed to be, right? A lot of the people that have been in the league have aged, over time. So
Yeah.
do you start looking at what that should be? Do you want it to be a competitive league like Merrimack, or, like what do people want? What's going to keep people happy? What's going to attract people? And I'm not criticizing anybody that's running, because it's not easy, and I don't want to do that. Everybody's a volunteer. But there may be a larger social media presence, or something along those lines. I'm just not sure. And it felt like a perfect storm, because the city of Nashua has decided, we're going to raise costs to use these fields. And you have a league that's everybody's butting heads. And it's like, now what? You know what I mean? Like, it was a perfect storm.
Yeah, the money hikes don't help anything. It really is kind of frustrating to hear some of that stuff when it comes to just like people playing rec sports. Like this, I think everyone deals with enough, and like why you still gotta like nickel and dime people for like the few things they enjoy is kind of discouraging, but
It
um
is. It's disheartening.
it
you know.
is, yeah. And even back on the um Nashua thing quick, I don't even think it's even just them either, because even leagues like Merrimack have struggled with losing players. I know for sure. I've seen it firsthand. Like I've only been in the league 2 years, but from my first year to my second year, I noticed quite a few players that weren't there the second year, and I think you're just seeing it everywhere, and a little bit of it is a bit confusing at times, but I just think across the board, like you're seeing a tough. And Merrimack is you pay $20 to get like what more can you get from a league for like less money? Honestly, they can't really offer much more. Like pretty much everything sponsored. You pay $20, get a 30-game season, a jersey, play with great competition, and they're struggling to hold people. So it's
Mm.
almost not even like the money thing never helps anything, and hiking the money like they have been is I don't agree with it in any way, but I think I think there's more to it honestly than just money. And I don't even think it's a lack of interest in softball either. I don't know. I think people just like are waiting for something that's very inviting, or like waiting for the right opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's tough. Like, I will say with like the Merrimack League, right? It has an identity, right? You know what the identity of the Merrimack League is. It's a highly competitive draft style league. So you are balancing out the talent level, right? I'm sure there's still blowouts, but it's tough when you get into leagues where one team may never have a chance against the other one. And that doesn't bring people back. Now, if
Yeah.
Merrimack's losing, I don't know why Merrimack might be losing players. There's a lot of different stuff. People get married, people start having kids, people start moving on with their lives. But there
Hmm.
also may be those players that are in that league. And I don't want to speak for anybody or anything, that may be more suited to move to another league where, maybe they would have more of an opportunity. So I think identity of a lot of these leagues need it. And, there are some too that are just like, Londonderry is more residential, resident focused, right? They're more focused on who lives in Londonderry. That's who we mainly want playing here. So
Hmm.
it's tricky. I think 6 is still a healthy number for any league. Like I know in Nashua, Nashua Sunday being a 1-day-a-week league, we like to stay at 6. I think it's a healthy number. I think you can have a league with 6. Can't have it with 3.
No.
So
I think even 4 is
4
arguably pushing it.
4, here's my thing, like too with Nashua in the men's league is like if you can get 4 teams, you could do something. Because I think the important thing that people need to realize, and I could be wrong about this, that is a hot commodity of a permit. And if the league does not run, there's no official word on that. I want to make that clear. This is all hearsay.
Hmm.
If that permit goes to somebody else, and let's say it's not softball related, because cricket is very interested in having a permit. Cricket enjoys having something fenced in. They do. That's something
Yeah.
I've talked to them about, and because I was like, you guys can play Greeley. No, we like the fence. If that permit gets scooped up by somebody else, it may not be that easy to get back. And I think that should be a concern of anybody that ever wants to play there again, is that, maybe once you lose it for good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very real possibility. That's why, I mean, you gotta be careful with like running leagues and try to give people a reason to want to come back. And even if you're a player in a league, you gotta even yourself. There's like some level of responsibility to keep the place inviting and fun for your teammates and the people you play against. And
Yeah, I think
but
that's huge, right? Like you don't want arguing. I don't think there should ever be shouting. And listen, I'm not perfect. I've had my moments, right? And I would never
Mhm.
justify. And that's the thing. I would never justify anything that yelling or getting angry with somebody. But if you do, you got to squash it. And yeah, you're right. People are going there to escape, not I don't know, escape, but to unwind and have a good time. Life could drag. So it's like kind of leave that the 9 to 5 life at home, come down, have a few laughs, play a game, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult thing. But I want to talk about this because this is a little bit more on the, we're focused on tournament ball, right? Like you're going to tournaments and, if you want to keep playing, you got to win ball games, right? You've gotten very into the tourneys, played on multiple teams at this point. You probably, 4 different teams at this point, would you say?
Yeah, yeah, like maybe 5 or 6 or so with like teams that like hopped on here and there. But yeah,
Now, what made you decide, that you wanted to start playing more into tournaments?
um, I think it's just like the competitor in me. The second I remember, it's funny talking about this now because when I had first come on the show, I remember that was like just after my first trip to Worlds, which my first year Worlds was my fourth tourney I ever played. Like my fourth tourney was Worlds, which is kind of crazy. Like at that time, I was so young and like naive, and everything with softball was just like a fun new experience to me. And I was like, I don't know, I was just like a kid in a candy shop when I started, but it's the honest truth too. I love softball. I think anyone who knows me knows that. But the second I got a taste of like the competitive side, is over because I grew up playing baseball my whole life. I'm like literally obsessed with the sport. Like I love baseball, softball, like anything like that, playing competitive. So once I got a chance, it's like all I wanted to do. I wanted more of it. Like I don't really have much other commitments right now, so I got the time for it. So I just give it all I can until something changes.
Yeah, it's funny how you said your fourth tournament was Worlds. We had Bones on the show, and he said that's his first experience with softball was going right into tournaments, which is
Really,
kind of
yeah.
crazy. Yeah, yeah. He said that they said, "Hey, come down to Connecticut." I have to go back and watch the episode. He said that was it. Like he was just playing tournaments and everything like that. What have been now? So you're I would say this is probably your fourth year playing tournament ball, going to your senior year here, right?
Technically, yes. Technically, my fourth year. If you count that first year with Friendly Fire, the four tourneys, like a full year, yeah, this would be my fourth.
What have been some of your, again, for those watching that might not know too much about tournament softball, you travel, all over New England, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont. You're accumulating points through the season. And it usually wraps up with a Florida trip to play in not Orlando. Where were you? I don't even know. Where is it?
Beef. Yeah.
Yeah, the Space Coast Center. But there's other world tournaments now too, the worlds.
Mhm.
Um, but what have been some of your favorite experiences and moments?
It's so tough, honestly. Like I struggle at this point to like I've lost track of so many like fun tourneys I've had and so many good experiences I've had because I play so much. But um, there's definitely certain ones that come to mind. Even with like a multitude, like I gotta give a big shout out to the Scally's Rhode Island team I went to like late in the season last year. Those guys are ton of fun to play with. Like they're ball busters. They're you know I don't know. They're just fun people. Like some of the most fun I had playing softball. That was just like no one really cared what happened. No one was like um getting on anybody or giving anybody a hard time. Like I had a lot of fun playing tourneys last year with them and Morningwood obviously had like amazing experiences. Like the our trip to Worlds obviously was like probably that was probably my best softball experience getting to go with you and Ronnie and like some of my best friends on that team, Nalty. Um, but yeah, that was definitely up there. I don't know. I couldn't really like say like a specific moment or anything, but I definitely
No,
appreciate the experiences with friends more so than the actual like games and tournaments themselves.
I agree. I think, we went down to Florida with Morningwood in 24. And I remember you had, and this was cool because I'd play in tournaments. I never was like huge into it. I'd gone to, I had a Florida trip and like I always wanted to get back there one more time. Like yeah, I wanted to go down and play in Florida one last, I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but I wanted to have like an experience that I would really enjoy. And I remember you coming up with the idea, getting Ricky involved, getting Ronnie involved, and we made it happen, right? We played a season and went down there, and I gotta say, like, I appreciate that, Ryan, like, because that's something I'm never gonna forget was that experience. And we played in that stadium. Which I know a lot of the high end tournament players that might mean nothing to them. It meant a whole lot to me playing in that stadium and then winning two games in that stadium and having people from New Hampshire chanting for us. For a 40-year-old man to have that experience was something, that I'll never forget. Right.
Dude,
And
that
it
was
didn't,
that was amazing, honestly. Like that video of that game where we run ruled that team, where you hear the people cheering for us in the background, like that. If anything, I'd put probably number one. Like that was. I don't know if like I could. I'll ever have a softball experience that could recreate something like that. Um, the Morningwood thing, like yeah, it was. I definitely don't want to take credit. Like I did go to Ricky about it, but a lot of those guys are his guys too, and it was like a whole like team thing, and those experiences we had were uh, incredible. And it's so funny too, like, again, just to mention it, like, when I had last come on the show, I had basically just got back from Florida with Friendly Fire, and I made the decision, like, then, like, I wanted to see another route, like, no disrespect to those guys, I just wanted to, like, kind of do my own thing a little bit, and I went to Ricky after a little while, and it's just so funny, like, looking back, that just like how young and naive I was at the time, and like how ambitious it was um, to do something like that. Like in hindsight, looking back, like I don't know if that's something I would go do right now if I would do it all over. Not any like disrespect to Morningwood either. It's just I don't. If I had known better and how much work goes into it and how much like it takes a lot to like have a smooth sailing ship in U-Trip, and I think a lot of people don't understand that, and it can test a lot of aspects of things, and it just takes a lot of work, and like obviously I had no idea at the time, but I'm so glad I did it, and all those experiences we had together, and like playing with you, of course, was like I'll never forget that. So
Yeah, I mean, it was a really like even the car rides were so much fun. Like I don't think having last we got destroyed in one game, and just you, me, and Ronnie, just the jokes on the way home. Like I don't remember who else was in the car, but we were having the time. We we had accepted it for what it was. And fun with Nalty and Wayne and Jared and it was and Kyle and like like what a that was an experience. Like that was I had so much that I had never gone on like a the last time I had gone to Florida, like I was still active in alcoholism, and I went down sober and just had like in sobriety, like I had that moment of like I don't know, there's just something that came over me, like this was just an amazing experience, and I didn't care if we won no games, you know what I mean? Like
right.
it was just
That's the
it
benefit of having like all those people you listed off. Like Morningwood just had so many, like such a range of like fun personalities, and that's like what made a lot of it special. Honestly, like all of us are very imperfect. We were never like a perfect team, but like that's what like we could have fun with each other, like other teams couldn't, and yeah, I really appreciate a lot of those experiences. That's something I'll look back on for a long time.
Yeah, no, that was a great experience. Brandon Bowers too, because he was in the house with us, and
Love Brandon.
the laughs that we had in that house, man, just what an experience. But no, that's good stuff. I want to make sure that we get into the fan questions. We got about a half hour left because, dude, I got a notebook full of fan questions
Crazy.
for you. Some of them are some jokesters. Some of them are pretty legit. Jordan Acker, friend of ours, has a question. Um, what day of the week do you rest? And I think that's a lot of people want to know this.
I get such a hard time all the time for how much I play. Um, I do rest. I try to here and there. I'll be completely honest. Like the last 2 years, probably playing between like April and November, it was every single day except Fridays. And when I played church league, it was every single day. Eventually, I
Yeah.
gave up church league, so that opened Fridays for me. And then like I've I want to bring it back a little bit now. I've played a ton the last 2 years, and I've gotten to a point I'm starting to somewhat like pick and choose where I want to put my time and money too. Like the
Mm,
stuff isn't the cheapest, like between like the last 2 years, even just driving, I've probably driven like 40,000 miles because of all the tourneys I'm playing every weekend, and the leagues, going out to Nashua twice a week, Merrimack twice a week, tourney on Saturday, 3 games Sunday. It's like eventually I had to be like, all right, I, I've gotten the itch out that I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Like now I got to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So that I've been cutting back a little bit and kind of just picking and choosing where I want to play. I'm still always gonna play a lot for as long as I can. I'm gonna play as much as I can without it being like a hindrance to my life. So
Yeah, I mean, as soon as that weather gets nice, it's like that's all I want to do is be at a field every night. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, there's nothing like it.
100%.
Ashley Darling, America's sweetheart, or America's darling, as they've been calling her.
Love that.
Why?
So,
Why do they call you McDoubles? Do you just really like McDonald's? Would you get the McDouble on the value menu?
the McDoubles is an indoor nickname. Um, there's a guy Kanan who runs a lot of indoor teams. He gave me that nickname because if you hit backside in the dome and indoor, it's an automatic double. I hit a lot of opposite fields, so it suits me pretty well. So that's how I got the name, but I appreciate it. It's grown into like an ongoing joke for a while. I think people know I do like indoor softball. I love playing it. I like playing in the winter when there's literally nothing else to do. So, and I've gotten decent at it, so I do like it. It's good time. I appreciate it. So,
So did Kanan give you the
yep,
nickname?
Kanan. Yeah, the one he's playing in that tourney for the Nashua Coed League, the fourth
Oh
floor.
yeah, I have him on Facebook. I don't know if we've ever met, but it was one of those. Yeah, he seems to know everybody that I know. So,
Yeah, he's a good
Casey,
guy. Kanan's a really good guy. I can only say good things about him. So.
yeah, I can't wait to meet him. Casey Nolan has a very odd question here. What did I do wrong on the first date that was so bad that you had to get a restraining order? I just want to give you the love you deserve. So, Casey, really wanted to ask this question.
It's all love with Casey.
Yeah.
He says the funniest stuff, but um, no, I love Casey. Um, another like I'll say one thing I want to say about Casey is he's one of those people that like you haven't talked to him in a couple weeks, a month. He'll send you like a random message just being like, "Hey, love you, man." Like hope like just something nice and like encouraging that like you'll always end up wishing one day that like you did more of that. And I really respect Casey for that cuz he's just been a really good friend to me, and like we've had good conversations, and um I've even been like open with him with things at times, and he's just like a really, really like genuine dude. And like even though he'll make like funny jokes and stuff like that, like that if he's your friend, that dude is there for you. And so I always appreciate that. I love Casey.
Yeah, no, I like Casey a lot. We missed him in pickup this year, like, because he was helping out a little bit with that the year before, and he brought in a bunch of people that a lot of them came
Yeah.
back and kept playing. So I think a lot of Sunday people might be somehow tied to Casey bringing them to pickup, to be
Oh,
honest.
100%. Yeah, like a lot of the sober player crowd for sure. And I know it's tough for him because he lives in Epping, so
That's a
getting
haul,
over to
yeah.
Nashua, and he plays a lot too. So when you're playing all the time, like it can be tough sometimes to get out there. So I understand. It is what it is.
Yeah, we won't hold it against you, Casey.
No, not
Uh,
at all.
Sarah Boothie, recent guest. How'd you become the VP? What does that role look like for you? Oh, this is a good question.
I was forced in this position. um, No, Dan threw the idea out and mentioned it a couple times in chats I was in with him, and I don't know. I put a little bit of thought into it at first and was like, no. I was like, I don't really want to like take on any responsibility. And I don't know. Then I thought about it and I was like, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? The only thing I really didn't want to like manage was finance stuff, and if I don't have to do that, like I do think there's like value I can bring to a league like Nashua, and there is some things like some ideas I have in mind, and some things like especially I haven't even like mentioned to you, Dan, but um yeah, I think I can help with some things, and I'd love to like one thing in particular is start doing um like more like annual tournament type thing, like kind of what we did with the turkey takeover. Start like doing a couple more of those and make it almost like kind of that like my social style where it's like, all right, each around this time of year we're gonna do these, whether it's at Greeley or AJ's or whatever. So
I love that, and I told you and Chris because we were, and that's kind of the first thing you kind of took the reins on with the help of Chris, who we've had on the show with the close call indoor softball. Was starting that fundraiser. But I love the idea of traditions. Anybody that knows me knows I love a good tradition, and I am all for all that. So I think it's going to be a blast this year. I think we're really going to have a lot of fun, and I'm super stoked to have you aboard. So,
thank you,
um,
appreciate it.
Omar, um, Rios,
Roja,
Rojas. When can you stop running fast, guy?
he's faster than I am, that's for sure. Omar's a stud player. He's a fuel dog from Fuel Dogs.
Oh, okay, I remember them.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Like he's one of those people I met just like walking around at the tourneys, shooting the shit with random teams, and we crossed paths. And I was like, I like this kid. He's funny, great player, and we gotten along since. So shout out to Omar, good dude.
Mitch Pierce wants to know. There was an injury recently, and he says, "Did the punching machine punch back?"
The punching machine did unfortunately punch back. Took me out for 9 weeks. Broke scaphoid bone in my wrist. Don't recommend hitting punching machines.
What
uh,
did? How do they fix that? Like, did you just have to heal?
yeah, I was in a cast for 8 weeks, which is way more uncomfortable than you'd ever imagine. Having the
Oh yeah.
cast was really just awful. I'm definitely gonna be careful with stuff like that in the future. I don't want to go through that again, honestly.
No, totally understandable. I mean, I don't know much about those things, but yeah, I'm brittle, so I gotta be careful. But Justin DeFiore, biggest number 2 Sopranos fan out there. Not one, but he's a close second. What's the best tournament you ever had?
Best tourney I ever had. That's really tough. I suppose it depends on like the context or like sanction of it, because um I'd say for U trip probably the New Hampshire NIT this past year. I had a very good day that day and got all tourney. But overall, I think some of my best tournaments I've ever played were like my social like hardball tourneys. I've had a couple of those where I feel like I couldn't get out all day. Um, I don't know.
That's a tough one.
If I had to pick one, I guess I go with the one I got for the all tourney last year with Scallies. I had a real big day that day, and we played a lot of really good teams. So yeah, I
Nice.
guess I give it to that.
Josh Bemis has a very Bills fan. Don't rag on him about the Bills. He does not like that. What is your favorite person or friend that you met through your softball career?
That's like
That's a tough one because there may be some people that aren't happy after. So you can just throw a few names if you want.
yeah, that's really tough. I've met some people from softball that like have changed my life like literally forever. I've had experiences with people from softball like I'll never forget, and um it's really tough. You're very high up there, Dan. Like if
Appreciate
not
that.
like number one, like you're one of my best friends for sure, and um like seriously, you're right up there. Ronnie
Same.
Ferreira, of course, it's right up there. Chris DeJesus, real good friend of mine. With some other people, I won't mention everybody, but I think they definitely know who they are. There's a lot of people that have had a big impact on me, and I try to make it known to them how much I appreciate them. So
No, absolutely. I mean, some of my favorite chats are with you and Chris, or you and Ronnie. Though Ronnie won't listen to my voice messages. We're gonna have to. I don't, change
I've come
that.
around on the voice messages a little bit.
I think it makes life easier because if you've noticed, when I might send a message, it might not make sense because sometimes my brain has a hard time typing it out and sending what I mean. When I grab the
Yeah.
phone and I just say what I mean, I feel like, yeah, I got that point going.
Yeah, it's tough to get like context through texting, so I get it.
But Pat Conley, he won the Sunday Coed Appreciation Award. A lot of work that Pat does for those fields, probably more than Park Rec, who's going to be charging us through the nose. What aspirations? What are your aspirations for the future? Or who is your hero in life? And he says, "Congratulations on the VP. Best of luck, my friend."
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that. My hero in life, it's like so hard to pick between either parent. I suppose I'd go with my mother. She means everything to me. Love you infinitely, Mom. Plans for the league. I I don't plan to do like anything crazy or change anything. Like I'm here to like support Dan with what he's doing and like bring ideas that I think would like keep a good culture for the league. That's why I mentioned the idea of going from more like annual tourneys, like almost like my social. Um I'll give them all the credit because I just think when you do like the annual stuff, it gives you like you'll and if people have fun with it and they really have a good time, they're gonna the next year like mark their calendar like, oh, I want to do that again. And that's how people will come back if it's something decent, you know what I mean? My social does a good job with that. Like their tourneys every year, like people want to get in those. You wait for certain ones to come around. And I think with Nashua, with how well the turkey takeover went, there's some space there for obviously not as many as my social, but maybe like 2, 3 a year that become like an annual thing. And um, yeah, I think that'd be good for the league. And other than that, I just plan to support Dan and help the league any way I can. That's really all I'm here for.
Yeah, and those tournaments too are a good way for us to give back, right? Like that's something that the group of people that we have associated with pickup, associated with the Nashua Coed League. If anytime I can say this with certainty that I've said, hey, let's do a thing and let's raise some canned goods, let's raise some socks for people in need, and people jump on that. So I mean, we have a lot of great people, and it's a good way to get people together to do that and just have fun with your friends. So
Right.
Way in the court, and he wants to get into some sibling rivalry here, not to be confused with Wayne LaShort, his alter ego. Um, who won more fights growing up, Tim or Ryan McMahon? Who wins now? And now I know who Tim. And I knew who Tim was, and like I'd forget, and then I was like, "Yep, I see it. I see it." you know.
Yeah, Tim definitely obviously got the better of me, like most of our life. When we were younger and like a little bit closer in size, there was times, I had my moments, but no, he got the better of me. I used to just instigate him till I'd piss him off, and then he'd hurt me, and then I'd go tell on him.
Yeah.
But no, we get along well. We don't fight anymore, nothing like that. We're really close. So
Yeah, that's kind of what happens with siblings. Like, I mean, I always cared about my brother as a kids, right? But we would fight all the time, and now it's like, hey, we're adults, and we still like hanging out with each other, so it's a good thing.
yeah, of course.
Danielle Ko. No, I'm sorry, Danielle. I know you'll be watching. Keo. What has been your favorite softball memory? Is there a specific memory that you have that you really?
Specific memory. Um, I don't know. It's really tough to say. I would probably like always default to just experience. Like there's Canaan, obviously.
Mm,
Canaan is such a fun time, and whether you're, regardless of what team you're even on up there, who you're playing with, just going up there to see your friends and spend time with like the whole community and have that be the focus of the weekend. Um, that is like a really, really fun experience, something I look forward to. So yeah, stuff like that, like Canaan, um, world trips, like traveling with friends, taking long tourney drives with friends, stuff like that. Like some of the most fun, like some of the funniest times I've ever laughed were like trips out, like driving
yeah.
with Jared Acker out to Morningwood tournaments and just joking around the whole time. So
No, good. Canaan is a blast. I mean, it's everybody just thinks it's just a big, and it can be, a giant party, but you don't like. There's more to it than that. It's just a fun weekend. It really is.
yeah,
Um,
ton of fun.
a lot of people want to bring up the last name McMahon, Gary Russo. He's a huge wrestling fan. He says, "Are you related to Vince in any way?"
I sincerely wish there might be some inheritance coming my way someday, but
Yeah,
no, no relation, unfortunately.
McMahon's a
I
pretty common name, right?
um I suppose so. I can't say I know another McMahon like that I'm like friends with.
That's a good point. I can't think of anybody.
I know a couple like celebrity McMahons, but yeah, I don't think it's like rare either though. But
I love that. The contract says McMahon, but it ain't Vince McMahon. It's Ryan McMahon.
I
Uh,
used to be a huge wrestling fan growing up, so huge, huge. I was like as big as you're into it, but it was kind of short lived.
yeah, I've been a wrestling fan now 35 years, I want to say. So it's been a ride with that. Speaking of a wrestling fan, we have Kendall Payne Glover. He's a member of the Four Families, bunch of wrestling fans that we used to do shows together. But KPG has a couple questions. He likes to give me questions, and they're usually pretty good questions. First one, if you could play QB for any NFL team, what team what team would it be?
QB for any NFL team. That is tough. I'm probably going. I'm not picking the Patriots because even though the Patriots are my team, their receivers aren't like exciting receivers you'd really want to throw to. Um, hmm, that's tough. Maybe like a Minnesota play with Jefferson, something like that. I guess I'd go with that.
See, I can't really, I've had, surgery. So, I mean, I would just, whoever has the best running backs, I just got to hand the ball off to them, what I'm saying?
That's fair. That's fair.
Pancakes or waffles? He wants to know.
If I had to pick, I would go with pancakes, but I don't
Yeah,
really eat much of either, to be honest.
I need chocolate chips in both of them myself. Um, if you were commissioner of the NFL for one season, what would you do? Anything that you would change that garbage commissioner Roger Goodell has going on there?
I would I would take away all the hit restrictions and let the
Mm,
game be violent again.
that's what people want. I know that. I know why they do it the way they. But it has evolved a lot, and I think it is such a quarterback protected league at this point, which like whatever, you know.
Yeah, I just think it was more fun back in the day, and you know what you're signing up for. It's like boxing. You know what I mean? That's a legal sanctioned sport, and you know going into it that there's a chance
Yeah, it's not
you know
going
what
to
I
end
mean?
well. But they did that, the thing is like they did a lot more. I remember that movie came out like a decade ago about how they were trying to hide it. I will say the one that really put me over the edge was Junior Seau. That suicide kind of was like that's a guy that everybody loved in that league. You know what I mean? And there's been other tragedies. It's tough. We're learning more about the human brain, right, than we ever knew. You know,
Yeah,
so.
that's definitely the tricky side of it.
Um, he says, "How does it feel to be Vince McMahon to be as your dad? We know that you're not related to Vince.
I wish. I wish.
I know that would be amazing. Even though Vince has got himself in some trouble, but we're not going to go down that road." He says, "Dan Bollier, the goat of softball. I don't know.
Yep, goaded status
I'll take it.
for
I
sure.
think it's Ken. I think it's the legend Ken Nagel would be my goat
There
for
can be
sure.
multiple goats though.
That's true.
There's
And
different types of goats. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Ken
I'll
is like
take.
the all-time local goat because you can't top 50 years.
No, no, and I'm super excited. We got some stuff. If Ken watches the show, I let her. I mean, some stuff is planned. I wanted to make sure that announcement was out that as a league, we are recognizing these 50 years because what he's doing might not be duplicated at least in this area. You know what I mean? Like
It should be
I
recognized. It definitely should be recognized.
yeah, it's an incredible feat. Um, Jose Torres Colon, another wrestling fan. He'll comment on some of my Mount Rushmore things. He does know what he's talking about. I know his
He
brother
does.
does
I've
a
seen those
podcast.
comments.
Yeah. How does it feel to dominate the cold turkey back-to-back years?
Um, we barely snuck in this past year, but we did win it. Um, that was a crazy day, honestly, one of the craziest turning experiences I've ever had. But yeah, it's been great. Like super appreciative the people who've come to play on my cold turkey teams. That's something I plan to do like year in and year out. Like when I went into that first year doing that, that was literally my goal. I was like, I want to pick one tourney where every year, I get like a good team together, good friends, like good people, and just try to take it down until someone takes me down. You know what I mean? Like that's my approach with it. So I'm gonna stick with it, keep doing it, keep having fun. Like none of it, it's all like just fun, and that tourney's for a good cause. So
Well, I plan to be back. Notre Dame was in town. I had to go see them. So if I'm asked back, I'm in.
100%.
Um, Hell yeah. Chris DeJesus, our buddy there. Another recent guest. Ryan McDoubles, how did you get that name? Which we kind of specified.
Yeah.
Um, he has a second question. He said, "Close calls with a K. Uh, what does that mean to you?"
Close calls. That's the indoor tourneys Chris is running. Um, I think Chris is doing a really good thing with that. Um, I I think in the beginning, a lot like he didn't get the benefit from everyone, and I think with the nature and culture of how indoor had been prior, that's understanding. completely. I could like anyone would kind of have a reason to doubt like the next person doing it, but I think Chris has really good intentions, and I think he's providing a space for like competitive players and like other anyone really to go play indoor and not feel like you're not getting a fair shake or anything like that. Um, so yeah, I support everything he's doing, and he gives back a ton too, like 2,000 cash prizes to your U Trip team, doing it twice right before the U Trip season. Like
That's
that's
huge for a
huge
team.
sponsor money. I don't care what anyone says. 2,000 is that's big. So how can you not support that? So I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's doing great things, and getting a chance to talk to Chris about it. He's got a good mind for it. So I think he's a very valuable mind for softball. So
Yeah, he understands what people like and what people want and what they want out of indoor. You know what I mean? He's a smart kid. So.
yeah, and I got two more questions that snuck in from the Amatos. The Amatos sending late questions here. I got the notification. Anthony Amato, how often do you get confused with Ryan McMahon of the Yankees? I think I've tagged you in things before for
I
that.
get tagged for stuff Ryan McMahon on the Yankees does so often is crazy. Like family members I haven't talked to in a while, friends I haven't seen, like randomly. Oh, look at! I didn't know you were in the MLB. This
Yeah,
and that, but he's actually a pretty good player. I've known him like pretty much since he got in the league. So I guess there's worse people to be aligned with.
that's too funny. And then Melissa Amato, who's your favorite Amato and why? And how's your knee, Ryan McMahon? Winky
That's the
face.
that's such an unfair question to ask. Favorite Amato, I guess I'll give it to Mel. She's a sweetheart, but I love all of them. Seriously, like such good people. Uh,
Yeah, I agree. I love the Amatos. I look at the Amatos almost like family. I mean, like they all three of them, just wonderful people.
yeah, seriously, they've all always been so good to me. Nothing but love for them. So
So yeah, no, that's always always gonna ask the tough ones at the end.
yeah,
Um,
right.
but but Ryan, this has been an absolute blast. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to working with you and the Nashua Sunday Coed League this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I cannot wait. Any final thoughts?
No, I just want to say, yeah, I agree with you. I think this year will be a great time. I appreciate you having me back on the show. I definitely want to do this again, but I want to do it back in person again. You got to do the in studio stuff because I'm not as good like with the camera stuff like this. So,
The
um,
plan, the show will return to studio form. When that is going to be, I don't know yet, but tune in to Let Freedom Ring to find out. But yeah, no, at some point, yes, that is still the goal to get back there. So,
perfect. Yeah,
but
hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. All great questions. You do a great job with this. So,
thanks,
thank you.
Ryan. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, we'll do it again sometime. Everybody out there, have a wonderful week, and spring is almost here. So continue to let freedom ring.